Why are Metalflex 90s a UL listed part if they're impassable once installed? This video is brought to you by Jackery. If you've been in renewables for over a decade like I have, one thing you've begun to appreciate about a system like this that's both permanent and portable is its ability to adapt and serve whatever needs you may have. If you're a contractor, you might consider adding a solution like this to your lineup. If you're a DIYer, I'm going to show you how to install it start to finish. Here we go. Well, all transparency, I've already unboxed this because I took it on a camping trip a couple weeks ago. If you're interested in that video, click the card in the corner. This is the power cable. It's the main power cable between the battery, which I'm about to show you, and the Reliance controls panel, which turns this portable solution into a permanent solution. Here's the AC power cable. Everything Jackery is nicely branded. Get a good high quality cable wrap. Like those little details, folks, man, I don't know, makes a difference to me. Here's the 12 volt DC with barrel adapters. It's nice that they give you a variety. Appreciate that. Here's the beast himself. Suitcase handle, can't overlook that. Hello. It is either a team lift or a bend with your knees. Beautiful. Nicely packaged. I wouldn't have any concern about damage and shipping. That's all like soot from the fire right there. We really put this thing to work. Thank you for my morning coffee, Jackery. Here's Jackery's main power switch. Boom. The unit is now on at 13% total capacity. Typically these units will ship around 30%, which was the case with Jackery. You can see the blinking symbols. Yes, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. In fact, the Jackery app was nice to have so I could check its power while I was lying on my back in the tent. Appreciate some of the features here. Input power, total power, output power, and all the real stats in real time. It's extremely responsive display. The Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus comes with a full swath of well-labeled options. First, there's the power button. Press and hold to turn it on, or just quick tap to illuminate the screen. It's got really everything you could want. Wi-Fi connectivity, Bluetooth connectivity, volume options. Yes, you can control how much noise this little beaut's gonna make. You can see input is cranking. We've got AC charging going on. Output is currently 0, but we are going to put this to the test. Here we have the 12 volt DC charging. Yes, you can charge this off of your car. 2 USB-A, USB-C. Quick tap for on. Here, 4 120 volt AC outlets. Those are 20 amps a piece. See that side prong right there? That means 20 amps. 3,000 watts of pure sine wave with a 6,000 watt surge capacity. That's insane. And then if you really want to drain this sucker, you've got your 30 amp 120 volt RV receptacle. Yes, you can charge your recreational vehicle off of this battery. Woo! I appreciate about Jackery, it's got beautiful handholds with comfort grips. It has all the ports that are frequently used on the front panel with plenteous options. In addition, there's an AC reset on the side, 2 ventilators, and AC/DC expansion ports on the back. So it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I was getting ready to go to Michigan for work/camping trip. I grabbed this thing, I threw it in the truck, and I thought I should just open it and see what's inside. Thankfully, it's really easy to open. And what I found was not what I was expecting. Look at this massive cord. I was like, great, I can plug in my electric toothbrush. What is that for? Nicely packaged. Beautiful, beautiful. But then there's the funniest battery you ever did see. And I was looking at it. I was like, it's got no ports anywhere but this big fandango on the back. Now we know what that boy's for. Nice easy click. This, my friends, is a battery expansion unit. You can put a bunch of these connected directly to the Jackery battery and expand capacity like nobody's business. It's a beast of a system and entirely modular with simple plug-and-play connections. If that's not DIY, I don't know what is. Yeah, it's ASMR for you. The Jackery Solar Generator portable solar panel. This thing's really nice. They thought of everything I can think of. A beautiful, flexible, soft side case, a nice fold-out solar panel with a kickstand. Look at that. You could do half of it, third of it, all of it. Take your pick of it. If I have a mild criticism, it is the proprietary solar port. This is a Jackery only connector as far as I'm aware, and does not interface with the ever popular MC4 connectors. However, it is a fairly durable, nicely branded cord and provided ample length for what I needed on the job site in Michigan. That is not a bug catcher. It's a really, really clever, low-cost value adder. You know what happens when the shadow of the dot is in the center of the bullseye? It means you're maximizing solar production because you have a perpendicular angle of incidence with the sun. It's like a Leonardo da Vinci moment. It's just genius. So simple. This Reliance Controls 306A1-J is available on Jackery's website and is ideal for the Explorer Plus 2000. It has the right specifications. In addition, Reliance Controls is a household name across America, and that's what it looks like. Let's get to install. Let's rip this thing apart and get to know it a little bit. I do like the fact that Reliance Controls comes with a goodie bag, and you know what that is right there? That is for your inlet port. I'm gonna be mindful of the orientation. There's more than one way to set this up. And I think that's gonna be my grounding prong, and I'm gonna want that on top. Oh, thank you, coffee delivery. Wow. Woo.
Dad, the thing was pouring up. Like, so funny.
So funny. Oh, so funny. I hope we got that. I'm still rolling. Goodie bag. There's some mounting screws, including the one I took out. There are a couple labels. Thank you. Thank you. Don't have to go be making my own. We'll see what those screws are for. I think they're for that. It goes in there. Straight connector, 90-degree connectors. Like I said, the goodie bag, with the goodie bag, you're pretty well locked and loaded. That'll go straight in the trash as always, and then I'll have to go dig it back out of the trash as usual, and it'll be a good time. Comes with your breakers, total of 6 circuits, 115 volt. You'll notice here, gen off line. So currently it's in the line position, which means that these breakers and the circuits will be powered by the utility grid. You can turn them off, middle position, and flip it to generator. Be selective on which circuits you transfer to generator power, in our case, solar generator. And then comes equipped with nice long leads that'll fit through your metal flex. They thought of everything. They thought of everything. And I just lost my bushing, but they thought of that too. Look at that. Beautiful. And let's get this thing mounted to the wall. I'm excited to put this on the wall and put Jackery to the test. Here it goes, start to finish. One beautiful thing about the Reliance Controls panel is it looks really complicated, but it's not. It's pre-wired. It's like almost entirely a done-for-you solution. So all I'm gonna do is secure it to the wall, cut my flexible conduit to length, and make a few wiring connections. And I think if you're permitted in your jurisdiction as a DIYer and an unlicensed electrician, I think you could do it too. First, kill the main power. Boom. This panel is now de-energized with the exception of those terminals on the side. Caution, still advised. Second, I'm going to choose to line it up with a common bottom plane because of my flexible conduit, which I'm going to cut to length for that position right there. So utilizing a torpedo level, a couple of mounting screws, an impact, a knee, a friend, another hand. Just kidding. Pah. There's debris on that screw. That's why you don't put them in your mouth. Let me show you this. You see that screw right there? Tell me where. That pan head shape of the screw, it is going to find the center of your mounting hole. So if you don't start that screw in the center of the hole, it'll actually, as it seats, shift to find the center. And you'll throw your level off. So line the screw up, center of hole, and send it. 4 mounting screws is plenty. I'm done with that. I'm gonna mount my 90-degree fitting. Now don't bury that in the wall. That needs to remain accessible. One thing you could do, if your panel was embedded in drywall, you could install an electrical access panel. That is available at any supply house home store, but I'll give you a dirty little secret. Not necessarily any electrical supply house, because technically they're plumbing access panels. See, that's not what I call them, and that's not how I use them. And they're not technically part of the electrical system, and so they don't have to be UL listed for electrical. Simply install a 14 by 14 access panel and make sure that 90-degree fitting remains accessible. And I'll tell you why. It's because a straight conduit fitting, you can pull wire through that. But as soon as you turn 90 degrees in a sharp angle, that's no longer a fishable or passable conduit. You'd be stumped, you'd be stalled. And the next guy, which might be you or might be me, would be at a real pickle and be forced to cut and remove the finished surface of the building, which then is what constitutes the code violation. Boom. See, that was just too easy with a bandsaw. But if you don't have a portable bandsaw like that, you could use a very fine tooth blade on a Sawzall and hold it really tight and really still, which might still be too aggressive. Or I'll show you another tip. You can use the handy dandy method. Literally just take your conduit, break it to length, and now you've separated the coils so it's accessible. And then you take your diagonal cutters in there, cut, snip, boom, separate. That's probably the method, if you're a DIYer, that you're going to use. And then, because of that sharp edge in there, file it smooth or install your bushing. That's what I'd recommend. You got some chunky wire. If your wire becomes too discombobulated and is crossing over on itself, it's gonna be a really tight fit. So I like to try to keep it together, help it lay in there nice and smooth. And I'm gonna maintain the full length for now, even though it's more to pass through this conduit, just because I wanna be able to take each one where it's going and terminate it nice and clean. Now I'm pulling on these conductors one at a time to get them to all lay in there, because I've got the bubble that won't fit through my conduit. It's important label. Let's see what it has to say. It says, important, connect red wire leads to branch circuit breakers. Got it. I don't remember the code off the top of my head, but if you know it, timestamp this point in the video with the code reference. Conduit systems must be complete before wire is installed. See what I've done? I've got an incomplete conduit system and I've installed my wire in it. However, that is the only possible method for passing wire through a 90-degree fitting like this. If the system was complete, there's no way it would fit. Let's bring my conductors in. So then I guess my follow-up question is this. Why are Metalflex 90s a UL listed part if they're impassable once installed? And why is Reliance Controls including them in the box? Take a look. What I've done is I've cut my conduit a little bit short because the fitting tapers, and if you run your conduit to the end, not only will be cutting into the wires on the inside, but this end of the fitting is just too small. So get your conduit past the mounting screws such that when the fitting clamps, it clamps to conduit, not wire, and there's no risk of backing out. You might be saying to yourself, why in Nelka are these Phillips head screws so bad? That's a common question. Well, they're actually square drive. They're not Phillips. You can get a Phillips to work on them, and that's just because of the similar nature between Phillips and square and the attempt to have a multi-head screw. But truly, these are #1 square, and that fits perfectly, no strippage, absolutely a nice tight bite. Also very common across the electrical industry. If you're going to be doing DIY projects or you're an entry-level apprentice, I recommend one of your first purchases is go out and buy 1000-volt insulated #1, #2 square drive. Show up at the job, show your supervisor the investment you've made. You might get an eyebrow raise. They'll appreciate the enthusiasm. I can guarantee you, you'll be moving smoother, faster, with less frustration. That, my friends, is a clamp style connector that's internal there. So what you want to do is you want to come to the screw, back it off to open up that clamp, and then it's got to stop. Clamp is wide open, insert wire. Wires are here and are pre-stripped for you. This is a 120-volt connection. So you've got to be mindful of each terminal. See that white terminal? White wire goes in the silver terminal, black to brass, and green to ground. This one is clearly identified. It says mounting means not grounded. Grounding wire connection required. Got it. I do appreciate the clarity and ease of this particular product. Very well done. Now, check it out here. Across the top, we've got circuit labels, A, B, C, D, E, F, and on the individual conductors, we have circuit labels, A, B, C, D, E, F. It's a beautiful thing. They've thought of about everything I can think of off the top of my head. You'll notice that there's only one ground and one neutral out of this whole passel of wires. What's the overall concept here? Well, one ground, one neutral carries that sufficiently into this enclosure. All the other circuit grounds and neutrals stay in your main panel. Technically, in this case, this is a sub panel, but the reality holds true. Then all of your circuit conductors have a line side, red, and a load side, black. Effectively, line side red goes to the breaker, then travels into here, hits your gen, hits your overcurrent, and then travels back on the black. Black then connects to your circuit conductor and goes to your loads from there. That is not the case with C through F. Dang! It's right there! It's right there! It's right freaking right there on the circuit directory. Nice! You'll note here that A and B are 15 amp breakers. However, they are 10 gauge wire, and in the instruction manual, I actually didn't know this until I looked it up, A and B may be used for up to 30 amp breakers or circuits. What you're going to want to do is take your unused wires and cap them. If you don't, what you're going to get from the inspector is improperly terminated wire, shots fired, fail, red tag, penalties, fines, repercussions, loss of respect from your spouse, all kinds of issues.
Jail time.
Maybe tamed by a peer. There we go. Ah, you gotta want it. Here goes main power. Take shelter! Nope, okay, it's fine, it's fine. Remove the shield. Shield down, Captain. Important to note, it's twist lock. So you see that? See that right there? Stick it in. About a 1/16 of a twist to the right. Now you're locked in and have made full connection. Can't pull out, see? It's like a strain relief function. Nice long cord. Yeah. What about a 12-footer? I'm gonna plug this in on face of Jackery. Right there. Portable battery. Expansion pack. Right there. And A and B. I'm gonna guess A comes first and B would go to the next unit. And I would be wrong. That's a B end, I see. Let's fire it up. Let's pull up the app and see what we get. This one's at 31% power. This is at 52% power. We're almost there. We're given both a 90-degree and straight connector, depending on what makes the most sense, and it's captive. It's a really nice option. I'm gonna eliminate a connection point since I don't need the 90-degree. I'm gonna plug to DC input and go out, set up the solar panel. We'll be producing power. Well, we put it to the test. It handled over 3,000 watt AC output for over a minute. Here it goes. Check it out. In addition, we were able to reset it from the app, which was nice. You'd be sitting in the comfort of your own hammock, porch swing, beach towel, and just click, reset, Bluetooth connection. Watch that sucker roll. I would have thought that its 6,000 watt surge capacity would have been a much more narrow window of time. Yeah, it's a boss. Man, that's where Jackery earns its oats. Boom. The ubiquitous question is, well, how much can I put on it? Here's a guide that will give you a great indication as to the average running requirements for appliances. Again, Jackery's continuous max power output is 3,000 watts. Its surge capacity is 6,000 watts. We saw it hold about 3,500 for over a minute. Impressive. The Reliance controls panel, maximum capacity is 3,750. So it pairs well with the Jackery product. Using this guide, size your circuits for your critical loads panel, and I hope this video has helped you out. If you're operating a business and you just keep catching left hooks across the jaw, guess what? There's a link in the description for the mastermind so that we can share our experience and put more cash on your bottom line and give you more time doing what you love. Thanks to Jackery for sponsoring this video, discount and links in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to Electric Pro Academy for real skills to make real money.